You're the best thing that ever happened to me.
Oh my God.
Unachukua the best, unatazama na unaipenda. Kwa masuala ya afya, habari kemkem, ukulima, biashara, vipindi vya watoto, hapa ni moto. Maisha TV.
Local news should live to your expectations. It should be reliable and most definitely accurate, keeping it local and giving you the facts, especially the breaking. That's why at Maisha Television Kenya, we value, we inform you, educate you and advocate for your views. Trusted news, trusted sources, trusted dissemination of information. That's why there is nothing more important to us than getting it right. Maisha Television News, we are here for you.
Glad you could join us. You're right on time for Maisha Prime News. My name is Rida Chebet Karim. Welcome. The rift between the two factions in Ford Kenya party continues to widen as experienced in the war of words between the Kandui Member of Parliament Ofula Omunyinyi and the Ford Kenya party leader Moses Wetangula. The Member of Parliament Omunyinyi now says that Senator Wetangula is in office illegally. Antonio Sundwa brings us that report.
We have a giraffe in Bungoma County who is Moses Masika Wetangula.
The wrangles in Ford Kenya party seem to be far from over as the two factions continue to claim the leadership of the party. Kandui Member of Parliament Ofula Omunyinyi is the latest to issue a press conference insisting that Bungoma Senator Moses Wetangula is in the office illegally.
Wetangula and team have been in office illegally. From 2011, there was supposed to be an NDC in 2014 or 2015, but that election was not held. There would have been another NDC in 2019. That also was not held. So two consecutive elections have been skipped.
tupatie tarehe tuchapishe, kwa sababu kulingana na katiba ya Ford Kenya, Secretary General ndiye anachapisha tarehe ya NDC. So tukamwambia tupatie tarehe, mimi kama Secretary General nichapishe. Hiyo ilikuwa mwezi wa 8. Tumengoja mpaka mwezi wa 10, sasa inaenda katikati hajafanya. Basi tumechapisha tarehe 6 mwezi wa 11, wote Kasarani. Tufanye NDC, tuchukue uongozi upya wa Ford Kenya, because we need some generational change in the party.
On Sunday, the Ford Kenya party leader Moses Wetangula dismissed calls by the rebels to have a national delegates conference.
A notice purportedly issued by Eseli, the Honorable MP for Tongaren, calling for an NDC. I want to tell you here now that there will be no NDC called by Dr. Eseli because he has got no capacity to call for an NDC in Ford Kenya.
Ford Kenya has embroiled in leadership wrangles after a section of its leaders staged a coup in May last year to oust Wetangula as its leader.
In fact, one of the reasons why the National Executive Council dismissed Moses Wetangula was a result of his failure to provide leadership so that the party can hold elections regularly.
Addressing the press at his Kandui home in Bungoma, Wetangula said that Eseli was suspended as the party secretary general after he staged a failed coup, adding that Eseli's suspension was confirmed by the High Court and is not entitled to transact anything on behalf of the party, clarifying that the Secretary General of Ford Kenya Party is Millicent Abuto.
He's not the Secretary General of Ford Kenya. The Secretary General of Ford Kenya is not an individual. It's an office. Eseli is not in office. The Secretary General of Ford Kenya, in perpetuity of the authority of the office, is Millicent Abuto. And an NDC is going to be called, and the legitimate signatory to the notice calling an NDC is Millicent Abuto.
The split, which has caused confusion in one of the oldest party in the country, is becoming just one of the countless futile efforts by the Mulembe Nation to unite ahead of the 2022 general elections, a move that has become an elephant in the Luya room.
Hii vitu yenyewe hapa chini, these are kitchen politics. Wambenya anatupeleka wapi? Amekuwa mbunge kwa miaka 25, anaendelea kuwa mbunge. Is a social parasite in our system. We can't allow that.
According to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, the tribe is the second most populous, just some steps behind the Kikuyu community. However, notwithstanding this fact, when it comes to voting, their 7 million population never seem to add up in the political matrix. For more than 4 general elections in the country, the Luya community has been a house with different fathers, this being witnessed in the recent turn of events.
Wetangula beats Mudavadi by far, even 85%.
Anthony Osundwa, for Maisha Prime News, Maisha Television.
And politicians have taken charge in persuading Kenyans to register as voters. IEBC has decried a low turnout in its enhancement of voter registration exercise, with only 202,550 new voters registered out of the weekly national target of over 1 million. Bushebi Jr. with that report.
The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission has decried a low turnout in its enhanced voter registration exercise, with only 202,518 new voters registering out of the weekly national target of 1,500,000, representing 13.5% of the national week target. The commission, which targets to register 6 million new eligible voters, says Samburu, Elgeyo Marakwet, Wajir, West Pokot, Mandera, Nandi, Baringo, Narok, Turkana and Tana River counties recorded the highest percentage of targets. Meanwhile, Mombasa, Nairobi, Kirinyaga, Embu, Laikipia, Murang'a, Kitui, Nyandarua, Nyeri and Kiambu recorded the lowest percentage of targets in the last 7 days.
I would like to encourage them to come and register, because when you have a vote, you have a say.
IEBC attributed the low numbers to voter apathy, insecurity in Lamu, Baringo and Laikipia counties, as well as Kenya and Somalia borders. Lack of ID cards and the culture of last-minute rush was also one of the reasons.
We have to a tune of 3,500 of them, which have not been collected by the new people, the new applicants. These are the people who applied for the identity card for the first time.
That this is a matter, you members of the county assembly, you need to go back to the villages, you need to go and talk to your brothers and sisters, also talk to these youths who are here. Through the social media, I am kindly urging you, through the social media, talk to your brothers and sisters who could be in colleges, wherever they are. Tell them to register in large numbers.
Solidarity forever. On voter transfers, a total of 5,206 requests were received by the commission.
And this one goes specifically to the politicians. Please stop the issue of transferring voters from one county assembly to another one. We have witnessed 2 instances now. There are people who are being transferred from Kitutu Chache North to Nyatieko, one polling center, where people have applied to move to that polling station, 700 of them.
We are appealing the following as Kisii County Universities and Colleges Student Association. 1. For us to make use of large numbers, we are appealing to comrades who haven't applied for national identity cards to move with hurry. For the same, that will enable them to register as a voter.
The commission launched the enhanced voter registration exercise on 4th October 2021, that is to run for 30 days.
I mean, you come from a home, isn't it? You come from a family unit. You have brothers, you have sisters, you have cousins and all that. It is your duty to ensure, to encourage anybody who is in your family unit who is not registered to do it. And if everyone, can you imagine if everyone does it at family level, then we should not really have a problem.
The commission has deployed the biometric voter registration system with a total of 4,350 BVR kits distributed to register voters within county assembly wards. The kits are stationed 1 BVR kit in each of the 290 constituencies to register university and college students to enroll students to registration centers of their choice countrywide. There are also 52 BVR kits in Huduma centers, 128 kits allocated to vast counties, and 2,900 kits for backup. In total, the commission has deployed 7,720 BVR kits.
We have partnered with the county government, or they have actually given us 30 clerks, whom we have fully trained along with our own clerks. So given that we have 30 county assembly wards, each of the clerk should be stationed in each county assembly ward.
Voter registration may not have been taking place as planned, but I want to bring it out that the 9 constituencies, just like the rest of the country, the offices are opened. So anybody who has reached the age of 18 and wants to register, you simply walk to the constituency office and will be registered.
As 2022 polls nears, political leaders from different parties have urged Kenyans above the age of 18 years to register as voters.
Kijana, changamkia hiyo kura. Juu kaa hauko. Take your place at the table. Safisha rada. Jisajili.
For Maisha Prime, Maisha Television, I'm Wishabi Jr.
And still on the ongoing voters registration exercise, Kalonzo Musyoka is crying foul over the distribution of voter registration kits, claiming it is skewed. The Wiper party leader now wants to meet the IEBC chairman Wafula Chebukati to point out the issues and seek a way forward.
Wakili Chebukati na kuuliza utoe taarifa useme ile BVR voter registration kits umetoa ngapi Kenya nzima na zipi zimeenda sehemu gani, kwa sababu kuna wengine wamepeleka pengine ndio, this is it, it's also corruption. You can corrupt voter registration, unapeleka sehemu fulani na wengine wanahangaika. And in this matter of registration, everything must be done above board. Kwa unauliza wa Kenya, tujisajili. Vijana, mtoto ambaye ako na umri ya miaka 18, kama hana ID apatiwe ID immediately, asajiliwe kama mpiga kura, na naamini tunaweza
President Uhuru Kenyatta is in New York for a two-day visit where he attended a series of meetings, including chairing a United Nations Security Council high-level open debate on diversity, state building and peace. The head of state will be addressing the meeting after Kenya assumed the presidency of the council for the month of October after becoming a non-permanent member of the UN Security Council on 1st of January this year for a two-year period.
That is certain to be a meeting that will touch on the pressing challenges in peace and security being experienced globally, how the global community is responding to COVID-19, and Kenya's proposals on a better way forward for the global community. Engage the Security Council by chairing a high-level open debate on diversity, state building, and the search for peace. This will be a historic event where the president gets to lead a conversation that is sorely needed in today's world. And that is a conversation on how to build cohesion, inclusivity into the way states operate so as to maintain peace.
And male elders from the Kuria community have pledged to end female genital mutilation and child marriage, a step hailed by the government as an important milestone in boosting girls' rights. The elders, drawn from the 4 clans of the Kuria community, signed a memorandum of understanding to end the retrogressive practices in the region. However, they want women who are making a living through vices assisted to get alternative sources of income.
Baada na serikali tumesign na wao pia tumewaomba watusaidie wazee wetu waende kwenye milima kuomba huko wawezeshwe ili haya mambo yakiisha kutoka pale tutarudi kuja kufanya declaration na kutangaza, na tumeomba siku hiyo tukija tutapewa magari tupite rally Kuria yote wazee wetu tukiwa na wale wamama wanaokeketa tukitangaza kwamba tumemaliza huu ukeketaji.
Mimi ile ambacho naisimamia ni kukeketa wasichana pamoja na wavulana. Wakiniuliza mwaka huu tutakeketa, nikisema la, basi nimesimama. Nikisema ndio, ninaendelea. Sasa kutoka leo, mimi nimesema hivi, jinsi ambavyo tumeongea na serikali imekubaliana maneno yangu, na mimi nimekubali maneno yao.
Huu ndio mkutano wa kwanza ambao tumekutana na hawa wazee rasmi, na wote pamoja wamekubaliana kwamba wanaenda kukutana wafanye matambiko na kukutana na katika sehemu zao za kuabudu na kufanyia tambiko, wafanye matambiko kuhakikisha kwamba sasa miungu wameitikia na kumaliza masuala ya ukeketaji wa wasichana pande za Kenya.
Sisi hatutakosa kufikia kwa lile maagano ambayo tumeagana na wao, kwa sababu tumeisikiliza na tukaona ni jambo la muhimu kuwawezesha wafike kwa mlima. Kwa hivyo sisi tutakutana, hawatakuwa wagumu. Hata resources ile tumetumia tukitafuta njia ndio mingi kushinda ile itafanya waende kwa mlima.
And as COVID-19 continued to ravage different sectors, Kenyans have raised concerns over large crowds gathered by politicians despite the government through the Ministry of Health banning social and political gatherings. Here is a compilation of COVID-19 super spreaders. As the COVID-19 continues to ravage different sectors in the country, the outcome of the next day, the next month or next year remains a nightmare, as many Kenyans are not certain of what to expect or what restrictions to expect from the Ministry of Health during their monthly briefings. In the last briefing, the Health CS Mutahi Kagwe imposed several restrictions, among them banning of all political gatherings, banning of social gatherings, limitation of number of people in worship places, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. curfew, among other restrictions.
We once again emphasize that all public gatherings and in-person meetings of whatever nature are suspended countrywide. In this regard, all governments, including intergovernmental meetings and conferences, should henceforth be converted to either virtual or postponed. And there are several meetings that even the government itself had planned in the coming 30 days. All forms of physical congregational worship in the country, churches, mosques, and temples, be permitted as per the guidance of the Interfaith Council and the interfaith protocols that have been developed, but which in the recent past seem to have been abused. In-person worship should be limited to 1/3 of the capacity of the venue in strict adherence with the guidelines and protocols of the Ministry of Health.
Miaka ya curfew inatuumiza kama aswa sana kama sisi wa mama wafanya biashara.
Toa wapi pesa? Wanataka tuibe? Haya, alafu next year mtataka tuwapigie kura. Kwa nini? Hiyo. Sisi hatutaki mambo kama hiyo. Sisi kama wananchi wa Bungoma tunasema sisi hatutaki mambo na curfew ya saa 1. Sisi tunataka tuongezee masaa ya kufanya kazi kwa sababu wengine wetu sisi ni wanabiashara, tujiandikwa na mtu yote.
I have no other new instruction I'm giving because my simple job is to enforce there's no public gathering, political rallies. We are not going to have discussion of these matters. Officers takes instruction on this, including the commanders. Those meetings have already been prohibited. Ours is to ensure that no such gatherings which endangers the life of the other citizens.
But barely 3 weeks after the briefing, most of the restrictions are already ignored, more so by the politicians whom were expected to be at the forefront in leading Kenyans to obey the laid-down Ministry of Health protocols.
Who has been at the forefront in breaching the rules in the fight against COVID? Is it us? Me being one?
Maandiko yanasema ya kwamba tusikose kusanyika kama ilivyo desturi ya wengine.
Kuna hali ambayo ni ya utata kisiasa, hali ambazo hazileti amani, hazileti umoja. Wakati huo ndio haswa serikali ama wanasiasa hutambua kanisa, kusema kwamba kanisa lituombee.
Kanisa ikiwa ni sehemu ambayo inaendesha taifa, kwa sababu ujue kutokana na maombi ya waumini na wale ambao wameokoka wanamfuata Mungu, wao ndio wanasimamisha nchi. Na kwa hivyo ni vizuri sana wale ambao wanahusika na mambo kama haya, ni vizuri sana wakati wanataka kufanya maamuzi waweze kujua kwamba ni vizuri waweze kuzungumzia kanisa ili waweze kupata upande wao.
Kanuni moja ya ibada ni ushirika. Kwa hivyo nafikiri serikali ingepeana idadi ama pengine ingepunguza idadi ya wale wanaoingia kanisani na kuweza kushiriki katika ibada. Kama kwa mfano kulikuwa na kiwango cha watu 100, wanaweza punguza kufika 50 ama 30. Lakini kukataza kabisa kwamba hakuna ibada, basi inaleta changamoto kwa sisi ambao haswa tunategemea ushirika ili kwamba ibada iwe na nguvu.
Kwamba serikali ishatoa amri na hivyo lazima tutafuata, na hivyo naimiza wenzangu ambao ni watu ambao wanamjua Mungu popote utakapokuwa.
Tukubaliana na jambo hilo kwa sababu serikali na kanisa hufanya kwa pamoja, tena kipamoja. So jambo ambalo liko pia nitaweza kuzungumza, serikali pia ingejaribu kuangazia habari kama zizi nyumba za burudani, mabaa, mahali kuna vinywaji na vileo. Nafikiri pia hao wangeweza kuwa wamefungiwa kwa sababu mahali pale wakati watu wanapokuwa katika starehe zao hawajijali kabisa.
It is a bit ironical when the number of people attending weddings, funeral and worship places are limited, while those attending the political rallies are infinite. The number of people attracted by some of the top politicians should raise concerns, and the Ministry of Health should put the same effort they put while dealing with Kenyans who fail to adhere to the rest of the laid COVID-19 protocols. But the big question still remains, who exactly is to blame? Politicians or Kenyans?
Wamesema kwamba kuna COVID-19 na COVID-19 ilikuwa tu homa. Si unaona baada ya kuwa exposed sasa corona imeisha. Si ndio? Imerudi chini, hakuna sindano, hakuna Panadol, hakuna dawa, hakuna chochote.
For Prime News, I'm Rida Chebet Karim. It is a relief for the residents of Budalangi in Busia County after the constituency's welfare fund funded the purchase of 32 boats that will be used to transport people and their belongings during the floods. The boats, worth 2.2 million shillings, is anticipated to reduce deaths and destruction of properties experienced during the flooding period.
Boti tofauti na kutoa mchanga itatusaidia pengine wakati maji itaanza kuja kutuokoa. Hii ni kitu namshukuru sana kwa sababu hii kazi ya mchanga ndio kazi tunafanya kila siku. Hiyo ndio uchumi yetu kwa hii area Bunyala. Mchanga imeshika watu wengi ambao wametegemea mchanga.
So unajua kila situation ikifanyika kila pahali, wengine pia wanafanyanga biashara. So imekuwa biashara wakati mafuriko iko, wale wako na boats, they charge watu kwa rescue kutoka mahali wako wawapeleke mahali on higher grounds. So kwa hivyo vijana wetu nimeongea nao, watakuwa wanafanya hii kazi bila malipo. Lakini wakati hizi boats ziko hapa pia wazitumie kujinufaisha.
Politics is slowly taking shape, with Mount Kenya East region seeking to be part of the conversation. The region has registered a new party, the Restore and Build Kenya Party, which was formerly owned by former Permanent Secretary Professor James Ole Kiapi. The party will see the former Embu Senator Lenny Kivuti being poised as the chairman. Under the leadership of Kivuti, the party changed its name to the Devolution Empowerment Party.
Tumefanya siasa, tukafuata watu, tukawasupport, lakini hakuna kitu ambacho tunatoa kwa hizo serikali tunachagua. Kwa hivyo tumesema wakati huu 2022, kama vile wale wengine wamefanya, sisi tutakuwa na chama yetu ya Mount Kenya East, na ndio tunasema ni MBAS, Devolution Empowerment Party of Kenya.
Mount Kenya East tuko na kura milioni 1.8 million votes. Hakuna mtu.
And now let's get our daily feature on impact of COVID-19 to traders by Anthony Osundwa.
It started as a foreign issue, but when it landed to our country on March 12th, the COVID-19 pandemic has affected many of the fields, the most affected area being the small-scale businesses, who felt a hard time as every restriction given by the Minister of Health to curb the spread of the virus sounded negative to the traders.
It is important that we continue to remind the people to adhere to the strict COVID regulations that have been given.
Every eye is now watching on how and when the economy will be fully opened to give the trading system a humble time.
That as many people in this country have been vaccinated as possible. It is the only way we can be able to fully open our economy.
Many of the traders say away from the limited time between them and their customers, they highly suffer from the low economy, a state that pushes their customers to bargain on lowering the prices, thus causing losses on their businesses.
Matatizo wakina mama wamekuwa wakipata.
On the streets of Bungoma town in Bungoma County, we met Evelyn Otieno, a tailor who narrates on how dangerous the state of the COVID-19 has been on the small-scale traders.
Mimi naitwa Evelyn Otieno. Nimeanza tu hii mwaka Januari. Venye nilijifunza tu hii nikaona hii ndio nitawezana nayo. Kulingana na hii corona venye ilikuja karibu ndio naona bado iko chini. Kabla ijaingia ilikuwa at least bado kulikuwa tunapata patako, lakini venye iliingia biashara yenyewe ikakuja ikakuwa ni customer. Material iko, customer ndio inakuwa ngumu. mambo tu na pesa, na economy iko chini. Sasa tunajua katika hiyo heka na hiyo kafi venye ilikuja, si rahisi uone customer. Unaona tu customer moja, si rahisi ukuje uone customer. Unaona tu customer moja tu. Si kama vile kama bado COVID ijakuja. Hiyo wakati customer anaweza fuatana hata kama 3 4. Sasa hiyo unaweza kaa ndio ukuje upate customer mmoja.
She urges the county government of Bungoma to limit the license rate so that they can purchase them easily other than the daily charges on receipts.
Mambo na license siwezi sema wanatusumbua, kwa kama unaweza amua ukate license hapa kunanga shida, lakini sisi tunakatanga receipt. License ilikuwa wako juu kiasi ikanishinda, nikaamua tu kukata receipt. Ilikuwa lakini si mbaya ukikata license. License ni mzuri kushinda hii ya kukata receipt kila siku. Sisi tungeomba tu watusaidie kama tunaweza tukate tu license kuliko kukata receipt. Kwa sababu kukata receipt tunaumia sana. Uendeka unaweza kosa hiyo pesa, lakini yeye hata jua kama umekosa hiyo pesa, anaitaka. Anaitaka. Lakini license ukishakata hata ukikosa haina shida, umeshakata.
She also goes on to urge her business partners to always maintain being faithful with the business lane.
Tukazane tu na hii maisha ya COVID, tukazane kwa sababu tutawacha, tutakula wapi? Nani atatupea? Hakuna, lazima tu tutie tu bidii.
Sawa. Hivyo tunashukuru sasa kwa ule wakati kidogo tumekuwa na wewe.
Ni sawa.
Of COVID-19, many small-scale traders have continued to decry over the tough measures imposed by the Ministry of Health to curb its spread. For Maisha Prime News, Maisha Television,
Well, folks, that's all we had for Maisha Prime News. My name is Brida Karim. Enjoy the rest of the video.
Shows bab kubwa, ngoma kali, movies, documentaries, series, talk shows na vipindi vya kuchangamsha, kuelimisha na kufahamisha. Ni hapa tu Maisha Television.
You're the best thing that ever happened to me.
Oh my God. Unachukua the best, unatazama na unaipenda. Kwa masuala ya afya, habari kemkem, ukulima, biashara, vipindi vya watoto, hapa ni moto.